We're live. So, hello everyone. This is Miguel Alatorre with Green Action and the CEJC Coalition. This is our second live currently in a series that we're doing. And so we hope to do this just to catch up with our viewers and people around so that we can catch up and have dialogues about our organizations. And so today we have a couple organizations on that are going to have small presentations so that we can get to know them better. We're going to start it off with Tom Helm from VIP. He's going to give a little bit of background and history on the CEJC. So without further ado, Mr. Helm, you can go ahead and take it away.
All right, thank you, Miguel. Tom Helm from Valley Improvement Projects, one of the founding members of California Environmental Justice Coalition. I'm also lucky enough to be the coordinator for CEJC. So I just want to give a quick background on the organization. I'm going to share my screen here. And here is our website. There's a picture of a lot of us from our founding conference. And I'm just going to go to our about page and read off our the story of our founding and our mission statement. So we were founded back in November of 2014. So coming up on our 6-year anniversary. We had about 40 groups, about 200 people or so attend our founding conference, which is in Kettleman City, which has been, Miguel can tell you, because that's where he's from, been the focal point of a lot of environmental justice fights, especially surrounding the toxic waste dump. And so that's why we chose to have our founding conference there. Miguel, feel free to add anything about Kettleman City or the founding conference. I know you were there.
Yeah, actually, I was there. I was, I think like 10 or 11 at the time. So it was quite a bit ago, but I do remember.
Well,
I think
only 6 years ago.
No way. Oh, I thought you were talking about the founding conference. Remember the one that we did in the Kettleman City School?
Oh, no, this was the CEJC founding conference in
Oh,
2014.
I thought you were talking about the first one that we did, like the first gathering in that school. Yeah, that was a long time ago. No, the one 6 years ago. Yeah, I was old already.
Well, it shows how far your history goes back and how young you were when you were attending environmental justice meetings.
Yeah, my mom would like to say I started doing this when I was in diapers. I was born with a nice picket sign and riot since
Why
birth.
not?
Yeah.
So the CEJC mission statement, California Environmental Justice Coalition takes action to bring about systemic change in industry and government policies and practices to protect health and promote justice and resilient communities by uncompromisingly following the principles of environmental justice, promoting unity and solidarity, using community-based knowledge, and strengthening community leadership. Led by people of color and low-income communities, CEJC is a broad, inclusive, grassroots, statewide coalition of small and large groups uniting urban, rural, and indigenous communities in resistance against environmental racism and injustice, and committed to environmental, social, and economic justice. And I think that pretty much sums it up. I'll put our contact information there just for a second in case anybody wants to reach out if they haven't already. But yeah, really, we were founded around the idea of solidarity. We didn't want industry or government agencies playing one community off of another. You know, okay, we'll clean this up out of your community and then we'll go and dump it over here. So it was really important for all of us to be working together and be on the same page and not let industry and government get away with things like that. That was really the whole idea behind the founding. And I will stop sharing my screen. Hopefully everybody was able to get that contact information, and I'll hand it back to Miguel.
All right, thank you for that little history lesson, Tom. Even I need it sometimes. I'm getting older now, so I don't remember things as clearly. All right,
That'll happen.
so next in our presentation we have my good friend David Gassman from Bay Area System Change, Not Climate Change. Sorry, and he's going to say a little bit of words for us. So take it away, Dave.
Okay, be happy to. Can you get that graphic up for me? Have you, succeeded from, we managed it on the test. Yeah, there we are. Good. Thank you. Gives people something prettier to look at than me. System change, not climate change, is I'd call it a binational organization, basically Canada, United States and Canada, of educators and other professionals, grad students, and it's basically a discussion Google group. There is a forum, there is a website, and basically, as it says there on the graphic, it's an eco-socialist network. And I can talk more about that later if somebody asks questions, but enough there to give you the big picture. And we have a website, as I say, and I will drop the link to that website in the chat. And if anybody, goes to it, they will find more stuff to read. They'll find enough to read for the whole rest of their life. Okay. We also, System Change, Not Climate Change, also has recently connected with the Global Eco-Socialist Network, which is a worldwide organization. I really don't know much about it. So I really shouldn't go on, except to say that that's what happened. And I should add that on our Google, I think our Google group, the binational Google group, is about 1,000 people. It changes, people come and go, all sorts of numbers, but that's a rough idea. We recently had a couple of discussions, Zoom forums. One was with Richard Smith, historian author, about China, the engine of environmental collapse, and also recently a talk by Kali Aquino of Cooperation Jackson about his organization's cooperative green model and its call to action towards a general strike. So that's simply to give you the larger picture of what's going on. What the membership, the group that belongs to the California Environmental Justice Coalition is a local called Bay Area System Change, Not Climate Change. And we are a small group, really. I think our Google group has about 100 some odd people. The number of activists, when we actually have a meeting, happy to get a dozen people, to show up, for activist purposes. And basically what we do is try to be involved in all the various efforts to achieve eco-socialism and to try to get system change, not climate change. So we're involved in the Reclaim Our Power Utility Justice campaign, which is the no PG&E bailout effort. We're involved in No Coal in Oakland, which is trying and so far successfully preventing the construction of a coal export terminal at the base of the Oakland Bay Bridge. And we've also been active with No Coal in Richmond, which is gotten legislation. Again, all these things are in litigation. And No Coal in Oakland has a couple of lawsuits, or at least the city of Oakland has a couple of lawsuits going on. No Cold in Richmond has at least one that I remember. So, you know, all this stuff is still in flux, but this is what we're involved in. We're clearly involved in the California Environmental Justice Coalition. We're active with the Sunflower Alliance, which is engaged in, you know, most recently trying to stop oil and gas drilling in Contra Costa County, and the Climate Emergency Mobilization Task Force, along with a bunch of other attempts to manage and protect the communities in the refinery corridor along the Carquinez Straits. Other activities we do, we have forums which we share with the Peace and Freedom and the Green Party. We've been trying to do outreach. Well, we've been active with labor, or at least certain members with Labor Network for Sustainability. And we're certainly interested in anything we can do to bring about a Green New Deal. And ultimately, I'll say that we are engaged. I hope we are engaged. We should be engaged. We need to be engaged. That's part of the reason I'm here now, is we're trying to be engaged with Extinction Rebellion, the Sunrise Movement, Black Lives Matter, because all of these are the kind of organizations that should be sympathetic to eco-socialism. We are sympathetic to them, and they should be sympathetic to us. And I'm ready to stop there, and you know, I'll give it back to whomever. And if anybody has questions, you know, I'll try to give an intelligent answer at some point.
Thank you, Dave. If we do have questions, I'll be sure to have those answered, and we'll go over them at the end of the video. Right now, our next performer is Ken Sus. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher your last name, but Ken from Citizens Air Monitoring Network is up next to bat. So I'll go ahead and let you take it away and not mispronounce your last name.
Mute.
Oh, you're on mute still.
And then share my screen. Share screen. Share. Thank you, Miguel. And this is Ken Sutu, and from Citizen Air Monitoring Network in Vallejo. And today I want to take a few minutes of your time and to cover two areas. One is our story, how we get started, what kind of problem we are having, and we are facing, and the second one is the lesson that we learned from our process. So first of all, I wanted to show you, as our name implied, a lot of our focus is in air quality monitoring. And currently, we have a network of more than 35 Purple Air monitor, which we installed in Vallejo and in the surrounding area. And I wanted to first introduce you to our location, because maybe some people don't know where Vallejo is. Vallejo basically is between like kind of midway between San Francisco and Sacramento. So for example, like right here is the 80. So if you, so 80 is, let me see where, okay. So here's the 80. So if you take 80, Highway 80 from San Francisco to Sacramento, you will pass Vallejo. A lot of people they just pass it and with not what Vallejo is. And as you can see here from the map, this part which I have my mouse pointed to, this is the area called Mare Island, and this was used to be the naval base. And the reason why I want to bring your attention to this is because we also have some heavy industry along this shore of the Mare Island. And this is basically the residential area. So, so that is the general idea about our location and what the network is about. The next one is what will be covered. First of all is our story and why, what were the problem we faced when we started this network. And the next one is to share our experience and lesson learned. I wanted to pay attention to two areas. One is I wanted to bring focus on the weak enforcement in general, and it's a false sense of security. And the next one is the air quality standard for health. And so those, I can go into a little bit more detail about that. And the third area which I'm going to cover is our future plan, or our current focus. The next one, okay, so basically, I mean, when people first came to Vallejo, just like myself, we see a lot of open space, marshland and bay and river. So most of people don't know like how bad our air is. And just like when I first moved to Vallejo, I thought, okay, we have so much open space and it looks so pretty. And I feel very safe in this environment. However, the reality is very different. Okay, so for example, here is our county health organization collected data, which including the emergency room visit for asthma. Okay, this is the area, Vallejo, with zip code 94590. That is the area directly across the river from Mare Island. Okay, so for example, this we have number 470, and the state average is 148. Okay, so so our ER room visit rate for asthma is 3 times of the state average. So I think the first lesson we learned is beauty can be deceiving. And actually that is the problem a lot of time, because when you go and you see there is a refinery or a pump next to your community, you will be alarmed and alerted. But in our city, it's like when you don't see anything really bad happening, but that is one thing which is actually causing a lot of problem, because for example, nowadays you can still see people like even the air quality is really bad. They are jogging along the river and they think that's good for them because it's supposed to be a clean air. Okay, so so that's the first thing, and our problem started around 2015, and as you can see, this is a Mare Island dry dock, as I pointed out earlier on the map. So this is the quote unquote the mainland part of the Vallejo. For example, I live somewhere in this area, and this is the dry dock, and it's not very clear, but I can point it out here to you. This is the dry dock. Basically, the ship will be coming into this area, and they block the water here, and then they pump out the water. So the ship is going to stay here dry, and they can work on the ship. So a lot of work the dry dock did and does is to, for example, painting. So they need to do a surface preparation and the blasting to prepare the surface, and then painting. So it depends on what kind of assignment they got. They might be doing different things. So first we got people complain about they see dust coming out from the work site, and also have different kind of smell they reported. So of course, just like most of people, like when we started, we don't really know. I mean, we are very naive, and we started to work with the city. And basically what we were told by the city is, cities say, okay, we don't have expertise on air quality. And they basically say, we ensure that Mare Island Dry Dock Bay Area Air Quality Management District permit is current and in good standing. So that's how the city is handling this type of situation. And so, and later I'm going to talk about that. Permit is not the way to safeguard our safety. And so basically a permit to operate, for example, we got this company get the permit, and I like to compare that as a driver's license, which driver's license does not prevent drunk driving. Driver's license, the permit is basically say, you know what you're supposed to do, but during the daily operation, they can follow or not following the rules. So for example, so just by people telling you, oh, because we have a permit, so you don't have to worry about, and think that's a false narrative. So permit to operate does not prevent toxic fume release. So that's also something which we learned from our dealing with our city and the Bay Area District. And the maiden is 2016 in September 21st. And there was a Phillips 66 major oil spill. And during this incident, we have over 100 people from Vallejo get sent to the emergency room. And so that is, I think before this event, most of the people, just as I described, because our environment looks so pretty and nobody even think about air quality pollution is problem until this major event, which basically wake up all the people within the city and say, oh yeah, actually we have problems. So a lot of time people tell you and say, okay, California had the strongest environmental protection laws, so you are well prepared, and which is totally not true. I mean, after we run into this kind of situation. So for example, like there's no accountability. After this event happened 4 years ago, and after 4 years, there's no one held accountable for this event. So yes, we have 100 people get poisoned and sent to the emergency room, but nobody's held accountable. Okay, the other thing is we know air pollution does not respect city boundary because we don't have a refinery, and the refinery is in Rodale, and it's still, we got the pollution. And so that's some of the things we learned. And also the reason why nobody was held accountable, because when we worked with the BAQMD, we only have one sensor in our general area, and there's no way this one sensor can tell us anything. So it's one data point is not enough. And that's actually the major driving point force for us to look into monitoring, because we know like we cannot rely on the air district to protect us or to help us. So basically we cannot manage, I mean, the bottom is we cannot manage what we don't know. So we have to know what is in the air and before we can manage it. So that's why our focus is in the monitoring. And also, okay, I'm going to make this quick. Air quality standard also, even after we started to collect information, we find out the air quality standard is really out of date, because for example, if you look at the PM standard currently, the standard is 24 hours average, and that is not what I call it a flaw of average, because you could have average is like very low, but you have a deep hole here and you can get drowned. Okay, so so for example, that is not a reasonable standard for air quality, and we need to look into that. So future direction, currently, because our purple air monitor, and we have some idea about the PM level, but we still don't know the type of PM, because I'm sure different kind of PM have different kind of health impact. And in this regard, we work with UC Davis Air Quality Research Center, and they help us to do some of the speciation on the PM. And the next level is the odor, because this will not be detected by the PM monitor like the purple air. So these are the two things which we wanted to put more effort and focus in the future. So this is the end of my presentation, and thank you for your attention. Thank you, Miguel. Back to you.
Thank you for that. That was a great presentation, great visuals. I learned a lot from it. And if anyone has any questions that's viewing this right now, please be sure to comment or like, and we'll hope to answer those questions for you at the end of all the presentations. So thank you. And for everyone watching right now, please make sure that you share and like this post so we can get more exposure. We would greatly appreciate it. So thank you. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the Comité Cívico representative today, Esther. So go ahead. The floor is yours.
You're muted, Esther.
I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Thank you, Miguel. I'm gonna try to share my screen now. Mhm.
Well, I'll just say while we're waiting, because I just realized it right now that Ken's organization is our newest member, and Comité Cívico is one of our founding members. So we're
Yay.
spanning the whole time frame there.
Okay, I'm not able to share my screen. I'm having difficulty here at home with Wi-Fi, but I can get started while I try to connect. Thank you for inviting me. And Comité Cívico, my name is Esther Bejarano. I am a community health educator for 15 years here at Comité. We have several programs here happening currently. One of them being our air monitoring and IVAN air monitoring that we've had for quite some time. With that said, we help our local schools connect to the school flag program. And so we help them, bring up the flag, share air quality information throughout the county. And so we work really closely with school districts, principals, for us and for you. And I know education is key. So informed communities build stronger communities. I am also an asthma educator, and I have a team of CHWs. For us, that right now is priority to supporting families with COVID and farm workers that are now have contracted COVID, but now have that lung and inflammation and the issue in, with dealing with COVID. And what do you do at home after you have COVID? And so as an asthma educator, here you see my colleagues, Marta and the rest of the team. We are focused on educating across the state of California. Currently, we're working with California Breathing, CDPH, and so we're planning, and we've been training for about 3 years to organizations across the state on asthma and the connection to health, air quality, and how to stay healthy and take care of your airways by reducing exposure, by taking medication properly. That is the role that I have here at CCB currently. Also, I shared that I also coordinate the school flag programs that we have locally that are very important and connected to some of the presentations that we heard recently about, specifically now with COVID and seeing Hispanics at a higher rate of contracting COVID. As we know, if we compare our lung size and dimension to other communities who don't have this kind of impact our lungs are not going to grow as they would be required and needed to grow. So we're already in a bad place. And now with the pandemic, we also have programs currently for families that have no, are immigrant families that did not receive a stimulus, did not receive unemployment. And so also supporting those families and reaching out to them and listening to their priorities, to their worries, what's happening at the home when parents don't have sufficient money to have food on the table. And so we're also part of a group that is taking surveys throughout the state of California, COFS, when we're speaking to farm workers. And right now we're currently providing, receiving information to advocate across the state, legislators and government, state government on what's happening with our farm workers, especially in agriculture communities like Imperial County and Central Valley and the rest of the state. They are sharing, as we know, there's a crisis in our farm working community, and supporting them, offering them programs that we have on asthma, on referral to social services, to mental health. There's a great need currently with this situation. Our organization was founded by farm workers in 1987. It's long days, but it's 87, 88, by farm workers who saw the need of becoming engaged. And so they started with educating themselves on how to become US citizens to be able to vote. And so for us, empowering our community farm workers and then offering them the support, not only reduction of air quality, how it's affecting your health, how to take care of yourself. Self-care, as we see, is so important right now. And so being at the other end of the phone and saying hello and helping them and guiding them in whatever channel we need to guide them. I'll stop there. My colleagues and other partners you've heard of are working on AB 617, on our air monitoring sites, and supporting colleagues and throughout the state. And so we have different programs and different folks who really are passionate, again, empowering and educating community members here and throughout the state of California. Thank you, Miguel, for helping me with the website there.
Oh, no worries. I think that was Tom, but at least we got something on the screen for you. Thank you so much for your presentation. I love hearing Comité Cívico's work, and I look forward to going down to the EJ Summit. Well, hopefully we can have some kind of EJ Summit this year. We'll see how that goes.
Yes, so now we're transforming our home visits, our asthma home visits by porch drop-offs. We're now gearing up and doing virtual live, telephonic, in the different platforms that we need to be able to still continue to support families and provide services that they need. So in the future, soon, I'm sure that we'll have a summit.
Thank you so much for that. And saludos to Luis and my tocayo out there. So we'll see each other soon.
Yeah, they're studying AB 617 meeting right now, but they wanted to be here today.
Yeah, it's always nice seeing Comité Cívico. Moving on, I just want to thank our current viewers right now again and remind you guys that we appreciate you so much. And we're here to answer your questions towards the end of the presentations. Thank you very much. Now we're going to move on to our next performer here on the list, Riza. If you could go ahead and take it away.
Thank you, Miguel. I'm going to screen share. Okay. My name is Raiza Marciscano Beris. I'm the bilingual community organizer at Travale Cares. Travale Cares stands for Communities Against Radioactive Environment. So what do we do? So Travale Cares works to strengthen global security by stopping the development of new nuclear weapons in the US and promoting the elimination of nuclear weapons globally. So as we all know, nuclear weapons increase human security and is a high risk for great social, economic, and ecological challenges that we all know are facing right now. So a little bit of history about Travale Cares. It was founded in 1983 in Livermore, California, by a concerned group of neighbors surrounded in the area of the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, which is one of the locations in the United States where they design nuclear weapons. So the Travale Cares monitors nuclear weapons and environmental cleanup activities throughout the United States nuclear weapon complex with a special focus on Livermore Lab and surrounding communities. So for those about the EPA Superfund, for those that don't know what is a Superfund, is thousands of contaminants that exist due to hazardous waste being dumped, left in the open and without any proper management. So the EPA Superfund, which is a list where the highest, most contaminated cities in the United States are located. They placed the main Livermore lab in 1987 and one of the most contaminated sites in the United States. And then they follow it in 1990 with the Site 300 and they added to the rust. And Site 300 is located in Tracy, right by Coraharo Road. So these both locations, they really have to have cleanup, and they say that it's going to take about 60 to 80 years, if no more, if we don't do something about it. So the mission of Travale Cares is to promote peace, justice, and a healthy environment by the following goals, 5 goals that we have. One is that convert the Livermore Lab from nuclear weapons development and testing to socially beneficial environmentally sound research in all nuclear weapons development and testing in the United States, abolish nuclear weapons worldwide and achieve equitable, successful regime, promote communication and democratic decision making in the public policy in nuclear weapons and related environmental issues locally as well as globally, and clean up the radioactive and toxic pollution emanating from the Livermore Lab and reduce the lab environmental and health hazards. So what are the problems that we're facing? Basically, Livermore Lab main site is located in the city of Livermore and on the Earthquake Falls, and it's a highly densely packed Bay Area. Site 300 is about 13 miles east of Livermore, barely a mile from the city of Tracy, where all these new development of 5,500 homes are being built, and they are directly adjacent to the high explosive testing range. So both locations, water, air, and land, are polluted. Both locations, major accident spills and leaks have occurred, and we are at potential risk, so the next big spill can happen due to human error or any natural disaster. So both locations are in danger, so that without the community pressure and engagement for comprehensive cleanup, contamination will be left in place and the sites could become sacrifice zones. So in the 36 years Travale Cares has experienced that alerting people, informing them, by empowering them, and have an active public in the community is the best hope for obtaining most comprehensive and environmental responsible cleanup possible. So it's important, it's very important to be involved. So the public needs to be informed, especially the Latinx community. For example, Tracy, we know that Tracy, we have 40% or more of the Hispanic, and they speak only Spanish. So the Livermore Lab has failed to conduct outreach in Tracy or translate any information into Spanish, even as key Site 300 cleanup decisions loom in the coming year. For example, the important decision about how clean is clean for uranium-238 in soils, even though the Livermore Lab freely admits that they use uranium-238 regularly in open air bomb blasts a Site 300, and is indeed the cause of pollution. So what do I do? What do I do to help? I write, I speak, and translate environmental information into English and Spanish. Our organization build community outreach to empower Tracy, San Joaquin communities, as well as Livermore. We work to promote environmental justice. We help the community to participate in this environmental decision-making regarding nuclear weapons. These facilities, the main Livermore site, as well as the Site 300. And we work to maintain relationship with governmental and non-governmental agency organizations for this cleanup toxic contaminants. And lastly, we work with leaders so they can increase an understanding about the Superfund, about the cleanup of toxic and radioactive substances, and the things that they can do to help us to achieve our goal. So if you have any question, you need any information, you can always email me at raisa@travalecares.org. If you don't speak, there is many things that we can do, the community can do. We can write letters to the editors. If you don't know English, I'm here to help you. You can write in Spanish, I can translate it for you. There are newspapers in Tracy and Livermore and Manteca, all these areas that we can actually post it. We can gladly help you to post it. We have an office in Tracy. We can do Zoom. And if you need any more information, you can visit us at www.travalecares.org. And on the right-hand side, there is a link that says information, para information en español. You can click in there and you can find everything you need to know. And we have an Instagram page at try_valleycares. So any question, I'm here to help. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your presentation. Good job.
Thank you.
So I think that was all our presenters for today. Thank you guys very much. Just reminder, we're not paid actors. I just like to mess around with announcing people's names. So just a heads up, no, we are not paid. We are not sponsored by Coca-Cola or anything else. But that brings us to a serious point. I did want to ask if those who are able, CEJC is a very large organization, and some of us do have some great opportunities for grant funding, but some of us are very small and very grassroots. And I believe, Tom, we do have a donation link on the CEJC website page. So if you are able and you do have the means, we would really appreciate if you kept our work moving forward, because our work, as you can see, spans not only the top of California, but all the way to the bottom in Imperial. So we cover a lot of ground, and your donation will go really far in helping us promote environmental justice and keeping California safe for all of us. I don't know if Tom wanted to add any other closing words to this presentation, but it's all you, Tom.
Yeah, I was just going to share the page that you mentioned. CEJC is fiscally sponsored by social and environmental entrepreneurs. So all donations go through our fiscal sponsor. And I will just share it real quick that there is a link on our website. If you go to CEJcoalition.org and go to the page that says donate, and there'll be a link to this page right here. Or you can go directly to the Social and Environmental Entrepreneurs page, saveourplanet.org /project/California Environmental Justice Coalition, or you can just search on their page, CEJC, and you will see our picture here. And if you go down, there's our mission statement, our purpose, and a link to our website. And then if you click this donate, you can donate through PayPal. You can always donate the old-fashioned way by mailing us a check if it's made out to social and environmental entrepreneurs. And you can put California Environmental Justice Coalition or CEJC in the memo line. If you just kind of want to get directed through that process, either online or writing a check or some other way, you can always just email us, cejcoalition@gmail.com. Give us a call at 209-589-9277. And any of those ways should work. But this day and age, getting on the computer is usually one of the easiest ways. So That's all I had. Thanks for everybody for watching and participating. And I know I learned a lot. I always learn from our fellow CEJC group. So I appreciate you being on today and presenting on your organizations.
Good.
Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah,
Pleasure
thank
meeting
you.
you all.
Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Definitely,
Thank you.
Miguel, you can have the last word.
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you one more time to everyone watching on your devices. Appreciate you guys, and we hope to see you soon. So with that said, I think we'll go ahead and end this. So thank
Okay, bye.